You're listening to the N2K Space Network.
Happy holidays from all of us at N2K Networks. We're taking some time to be with our families over the holidays, so in the meantime, we hope you enjoy this encore episode of T-Minus Deep Space. And we look forward to seeing you in 2026.
This episode is brought to you by The Farmer's Dog, a service that delivers gently cooked, freshly made pet food straight to your door. Each balanced recipe is developed by board-certified nutritionists and clinically proven to support healthy aging. The Farmer's Dog, guided by science, driven by love. New customer? Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/Spotify. Plus, you get free shipping.
It's daunting starting a career in any industry, but there's something about working in space that is particularly challenging. And that challenge seems even harder when you decide you want to become an astronaut. What would you need to know to become a successful astronaut candidate? Where do you even start? Well, there are always answers when there are the right people to talk to. Welcome to T-Minus Deep Space from N2K Networks. I'm Maria Varmazes. The Astronaut Scholarship Foundation, also known as ASF, was created in 1984 by 6 Mercury 7 astronauts. Since then, astronauts from the Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, Skylab, and Space Shuttle programs have pursued the mission to encourage university students who are pursuing scientific excellence. The prestigious Astronaut Scholarship is known nationwide for being among the largest merit-based monetary scholarships awarded to undergraduate STEM juniors and seniors. ASF has a lifelong relationship with each astronaut scholar, as they are called, and provides them with mentors, professional and personal development, and networking with astronauts. Former NASA astronaut Christopher Ferguson joins us to talk about the power of mentorship, along with his mentee, Vikas Patel. Thank you both so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and I'm so thrilled to be speaking with you both. Why don't we start with some introductions, please? Chris, would you mind telling me a bit about yourself?
Sure. Chris Ferguson. I am currently a retired Boeing executive, but I've had a couple different careers throughout my life. Prior to that, I was a NASA astronaut for about 13 years, and then prior to that, I was a Navy pilot for I don't know. It's hard to believe 3 careers have gone that quickly, but now I do a few things. I work with the Astronaut Scholarship Foundation, which is what brought us here together today. I also own and operate a small business of my own that focuses on aerospace safety. I'm on a couple different boards and just generally have a good time as a consultant, working without the pain of setting an alarm clock. So. That, in a nutshell, is what I do, and of course, Vikas and I have spent the better part of a year in a mentorship relationship, and I've done that several times through the Scholarship Foundation as well. It's been a lot of fun. I think I have learned more from them than they have learned from me, but we'll let time to determine that. So, thanks, Maria.
Oh, my pleasure, Chris. Thank you so much for joining me. Vikas, tell me a bit about yourself as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a recent grad from Embry-Riddle, studied aerospace engineering, and soon to be a grad student at Stanford. And like Chris said, the mentorship has been going on for the better part of a year, and it's been fantastic to not only talk about my interests, his interests, but we found a lot in common as well. And along the way, got to learn a lot in terms of from the personal side of things to the career side of things. Obviously, he's a very impressive person, and so it's great to hear his backstory.
You are both very impressive people, for the record. So I just want to say, and Vikas, congratulations on your admission to Stanford. That's fantastic. So I just want to say that's wonderful. Congrats. I would love to hear a bit about Chris, you've mentioned that you've been involved with ASF for a while, and Vikas, I want to hear about how you got involved. So I want to, let's start with sort of setting the scene there. How did you learn about ASF?
Well, actually, I think ASF found me. I knew as an active astronaut that there was an entity out there that worked with young men and women to provide scholarships that were merit-based in the fields of, STEM. But the funny thing is one day, I guess it's probably about 12, 13 years ago, I got a call in the middle of Walmart from a gentleman named Dan Brandenstein, who was one of my, I would say, idols. In my young astronaut days, he was an early shuttle astronaut dating back to Skylab and Apollo early days. But he asked me if I would consider joining ASF as a board member. I had to think about that a little bit. I had to learn a little bit more about ASF, but in the long run, it is probably one of the most worthwhile endeavors I've taken on outside of my sort of professional life. And that has led me, I was busy in a career for a while, but, since things have slowed down a little bit, I've taken on mentorship and a little bit more of an active role in promoting ASF, making sure that our sponsors and donors, realize the value of these merit-based scholarships that we provide and have provided, over, I guess it's probably going on 4 decades now to young men and women. Through the mentorship, I've had an opportunity. Vikas's was my second of 3 mentees, I guess. Again, we had a lot of shared interest in that. Vikas was also a pilot, so we just enjoyed talking about flying. But I'd like to think that what I bring to the game is not anything that will help them, succeed in the academically, but probably more the soft skills of life. Understanding. A lot of individuals are interested in perhaps applying to be an astronaut someday. Maybe a little bit of inside baseball on the application process and how you might go about getting selected, which is still a bit of a mystery to me. So the goalpost keeps moving every selection, so it's really hard to figure out exactly what the where the secret sauce is. But anyhow, ASF is a great it's a great mechanism, and I've been proud to be a part of the board for over a decade now.
I can tell. I can feel that pride radiating through the screen. That's wonderful. Because I sort of the same question to you about how you got involved, and I'm so curious about if your trajectory is you're going to be applying to be an astronaut also. So I want to hear about that.
Absolutely, yeah. So of course that is a dream. It's been a dream of mine since a very young age. But when I was in high school, I was looking for ways to get funding for my undergrad, get scholarships, and so I just happened to search up scholarship, astronaut, kind of that combination of words, and sure enough, the Astronaut Scholarship came up, and I saw that Embry-Riddle was one of the involved partner universities, and so I come in freshman year. And sure enough, Grace Robertson, she was the very first winner from Embry-Riddle. She was up there talking about all the work she had been done, her involvement with the community. And I realized that this was a real organization that did a lot of good. And so as I got involved, did more research, I got into the Space Technologies Lab at Embry-Riddle. And it turns out that the 2 winners from the Astronaut Scholarship from Embry-Riddle both were lab members of that Space Technologies Lab. And so it was fun to get some insider knowledge. I know Chris talked about insider knowledge in terms of the Astronaut Scholarship and what it took. And I saw that these were some very fantastic people, and I just wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, I would love to hear a bit about Vikas, what sort of this relationship has been like for you. I've never been a mentee or a mentor, so I ask this out of actual genuine curiosity. What is this like? What has the experience been like?
Yeah, I mean, going into it, you kind of expect this to be some rigid format where there's a mentor and a mentee, and there's this knowledge transfer. But at the end of the day, it's it's kind of just a communication, a conversation between two people. One person obviously has more experience than the other person, but it's still fun to talk about everyone's differences and ask him questions that I wouldn't be able to ask anyone else in a different scenario. In the workplace, you're kind of more so focused on your work. Sometimes you get around to that mentorship, but this was a relationship that was purely carved out to have these sorts of conversations. And so I got to ask about presentation skills, management, and just a wide range of information that I probably wouldn't have gotten in such a detailed manner elsewhere.
We'll be right back.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, our holiday you're saving.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. This season, enjoy spacious, comfortable rooms and friendly service when you book with Hilton instead. Hilton for the stay.
Chris, you had also mentioned that you feel like you get a lot back as well. I'd love to hear more about how you feel like you're learning also from the mentor-mentee relationship.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to be a facilitator for a panel discussion involving several of our scholars. And boy, I'll tell you, just reading up on their individual backgrounds and having to intelligently ask questions of these outstanding individuals, I learned so much about what they're really working on. And, it's a little bit of a window into the future because what they are interested in is obviously, sort of where the state of the art is headed. And there were scholars working on things like, fabricating, pre-printed structures on other world bodies like the Moon and Mars. I mean, it was just fantastic to sort of get a little bit of an idea of where everybody thinks, we are going to be with regard to not just space exploration, but, technology that makes the world better, where we're going to be in 10 or 20 years. It's very interesting when you go back and you look at, the things that I enjoyed when I was a youngster. I watched Star Trek. I loved Lost in Space. I followed the Apollo program, and those things that were sort of visions back then have become the reality of today. So, like I said, it's a little bit of a window into the future because these young men and women are going to go on to really be leaders in determining, where we're going to be. Are we going to be on the Moon, living, semi-permanently in 20 or 30 years? When are we going to go to Mars? Is it next year or is it 50 years from now? Nobody really quite seems to know. But you really get a sort of a sense of the obstacles that are out there and the challenges that these young men and women are rising to meet. So, that was sort of my part of, taking in as much as I hope, hopefully delivered.
That's wonderful. Because I feel like there's something you wanted to add to that, and I wanted to make sure I get to you.
No, I mean, it's just great to hear that, I'm not just a burden on him, that he gets a lot out of it too. And it's funny because we talk about this sharing of knowledge, and he talked about the state of the art. One funny conversation we had during a mentorship was he was talking about how on his in-flight computer, he got live weather information and live radar, and he was just super excited about it. And at the time, I didn't really think about it because that was something that was pretty commonplace in terms of what I had when flying.
Right.
And so it makes me appreciate a lot more about when he was out there flying F-14s and whatnot. It was a completely different world, and so it's just great to see how things have changed.
Yeah, I also remember before that information was readily available. So I'm putting myself in the middle here. I'm like, I also remember that. Because I'm so curious, you are at such an exciting time in your life. You're doing great things already, and you're going to do even more amazing things. I'm so curious what your areas of interest specifically are.
Thank you. Yeah. And so specifically, I'm looking to do more research on GNC, guidance, navigation, and control. And so I've had a couple of internships so far, kind of focusing on that, a little bit of research. And right now, actually, I'm at a internship kind of between my undergrad and before grad school with NASA, working on some lunar terrain navigation. And it's actually perfect because I get to see what the state of the art is, what people are working on here at NASA, and what some of the needs are of the industry before I go to grad school. And so I can kind of find a niche and find a research area within that.
That's really cool. Vikas, I'm also really curious. I imagine you must have friends and colleagues who are also fellow scholars, ASF scholars. Is there like a network? Like what? What is that like? You must have that must be like a cool club that y'all are in.
Oh yeah, we talk all the time. Me and Asa, Chris's other mentee, we talked the other day about grad schools. He was going to CU Boulder, which was one of the places on my list, and it's people you stay in contact with all the time. Actually, this morning, me, Grace Robertson, and Jared Jordan, the three scholars so far from Embry-Riddle, we were having a text chat in our own group chat, and these type of people you stay in contact all the time, and especially when they have such amazing backgrounds, such amazing skills, and are genuinely good people. They're people you want to surround yourself with for sure.
Absolutely. I'm curious when you talk to your peers who maybe are looking for opportunities like ASF, and maybe they're asking like, should I apply? What do you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone ever says, should I apply? The answer is obviously yes, because getting to be a part of this community and getting to be having these connections is just fantastic. You get to meet people from a wide range of areas that you'd never ever get to meet, and at that point, you can go anywhere. I've gotten to talk to retired astronauts like Charlie Precourt. He gave me some good advice on flying. I get to talk to mentors like Chris, and you learn a lot from surrounding yourself with the right people.
Absolutely, those connections matter so much. I just want to get some final thoughts on what not only has this program given back to you both, but also what you've learned from each other, and also for folks who maybe want to consider either being a mentor or mentee, what words of advice you have for them. So, Chris, why don't you go first, and I'll go to Vikas.
Yeah, I think if I look at ASF, there are other parallel types organizations out there like the Goldwater Scholarship Organization, but I don't think another entity provides this sort of mentor-mentee and networking opportunity that ASF provides. And this is not a commercial for ASF, believe me, but I think that one thing that I didn't fully appreciate when I was at Vikas's stage in life was how valuable your peers are, and being able to understand, what their hopes and dreams are, and how they go about achieving them, right? Because the world's very complex, right? It's sort of hard to find your little niche. It's hard to know sometimes who to talk to, and being able to reach out to not just a mentor, but to your peers and understand how they sort of navigated these tortuous paths, in early stages career. I've always said that, it's hardest in the world. You have to make some of the hardest decisions in your life when you're between the ages of, 18 and 21. And sometimes you don't really have all the tools you need to make those kind of decisions to lay it out. And being able to talk to others about just these kind of things, both your peers and mentors, is key. So that is another reason I think that ASF really is a wonderful organization, because it provides not only these peer relationships, but it also keeps the scholars very close after they've gone on to their professional careers. We have some former scholars who are on our board of directors now. So, and they manage to sort of keep everyone in the fold, or at least as many as possible in the fold, to sort of re-nourish the youngsters with the ones that have sort of been there and done that. We've had one of our scholars go to space in the form of Christina Koch. So, it's a very broad base right now. We're proud to have all of them. It's great to see them come back to visit us once again. And it's been great to be a mentor, and I think have a little bit to share with, three of the key folks that have gone on into their careers in life right now.
That's wonderful. Vikas?
Yeah, and so kind of jumping off of that, one of the things you mentioned was, being in this age, we have to make a lot of large decisions in terms of, any small difference makes a huge impact on where we end up. And so being in that position, you kind of get nervous, like, am I making the right decisions? Am I talking to the right people? Am I getting the right input? And so surrounding yourself with the people like Chris, people like Asa, all of these other scholars and all of these others mentors really puts you in the right field and gives you a little confidence, if nothing else, that no matter where you go, you'll end up doing the right thing. And so I strong-heartedly believe that ASF is a fantastic organization to be a part of, whether you're a mentor or mentee, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be a scholar.
Well, gentlemen, thank you both for sharing your time with me today and telling me about this wonderful relationship you have through the ASF. It's been a joy speaking with you, so thank you. That's it for T-Minus Deep Space, brought to you by N2K Cyberwire. We'd love to know what you think of this podcast. You can email us at space@n2k.com or submit the survey in the show notes. Your feedback ensures we deliver the information that keeps you a step ahead in the rapidly changing space industry. N2K senior producer is Alice Carruth. Our producer is Liz Stokes. We're mixed by Elliot Peltzman and Trey Hester, with original music by Elliot Peltzman. Our executive producer is Jennifer Iben. Peter Kilpie is our publisher. And I am your host, Maria Varmazes. Thanks for listening. We will see you next time.
Ever spend all day fishing and catch nothing? That's what happens to hackers when Cisco Duo's on watch. Every login, every device, every user, protected. Cisco Duo. Phishing season is over. Learn more at duo.com.